Okay. Migo minoa abiding majatayan. Bojo na shinabe do bojo kinovia ginwa ma yae unishin apje ma winchi Diego winchi ma winchi Diego deshin to make was minoa yawin mino bemadisi with get digo nin and dapitinda neo gaye mi winchi ayayan uman ungum they wait taman apitinda man gaye Wawa kaya shindishini kazmi kizim do dem de pasabikang winchi bayan winchi bi kazi with the mungum dash de bakia bashki kang da ngi pe gagoi chimik wa omisha khod ga gigido yan manungum de dashin tamange chigiyang with Waadookodaading ni we could to mendash the wabanda in the go ginawa osa ge go ga ushu tu yang with the minoa o in the mang Akea gene shige no mawendo akini jana sinanik yo de nigana kea the kanwenda moado osa wenje and shinaberiang in shinaberiang minoago the mino de matsiang yo de nigan. My name is Kellar Paap. I'm a teacher at Waadookodaading Ojibwe Immersion School, and I'm a co-founder. Well, one of the founders. There are many. We're sitting with one of them here, and there might be some other ones out there lurking who've helped along the way with this vision and dream of what Waadookodaading is. I just wanted to introduce myself and talk a little bit about kind of my background here to frame for you why this document that you have is important and how it fits into the greater picture of what we're doing. Kawedash, niwe mina huosa Gigido chikanabe kun swa ausbeje ka piwiji wag the wind the moon go ga the wind maguya gigo gae osa Asian kazo gae wind ba dashin domano o osa Waadookodaading we ni jan sujik umasana igani ma Asian kade koi okay. Kind to give you some background information. I'm a strong believer in our language and the power that our language has, not only, I guess one would say, to strengthen their identity about how they know themselves, but really our language encompasses a whole variety of things that most people don't really realize. And I think I see it as one of our most highly treasured and valued intellectual gifts that we have. It allows us to continue a lot of what we're doing about being Anishinaabe. It allows us to expand our understanding of our history, of our traditions, of our knowledge, and a lot of things that you might find, say, at a university, for example, in these different content areas of knowledge. And when we explore these things and we experience them through our language first and foremost, not something that's translated or talked about in another language, but in the language itself, some very exciting and interesting things take place. And so this school and what we're trying to do isn't the only way that I think we consider a route to wellness. The school believes in the power of the language to educate our future and to stabilize some things for us, as well as to carry on what we have. But that can only occur within the greater framework of a community-wide effort. And so what you see here isn't just something that we guard and are stingy about at Waadookodaading. It's something that we hope becomes something that we can all believe in together, and we share the responsibility. We share the obligation that we have to this knowledge, to this language, and especially in the case of our children, that when they are born here, that they have a right to be taught this way, to carry this stuff on. So what we're doing here is a small step by sharing this with you, and by no means is this strictly of our own creation. If you see in the document itself, we've been inspired by the work of other Native groups, namely the Hawaiians, who established a set of cultural guidelines of how they run their programs and what they do, not only in their schools, but try to do in their communities as well. And they were inspired by Alaska natives who had similarly published something like this. So thank goodness we're thinking outside of our area here in sharing this responsibility and this commonality with other indigenous groups. So it's really important that they be recognized as well in this effort, because in many ways we're in the same boat about what we're doing. So we're going to talk a little bit about those values, and to give you a further idea here, there's an analogy that we've had since we've started. It's been a handful of people that have done this, and we tried to envision, well, how can we explain what we're doing to other people so they get an idea of the nature of this work. No one else, you're not going to find this at a university, you're not going to find this where you can just pick it up at a Borders, or you can just get it anywhere. It's been through a lot of hard work, determination, meditation, and reliance upon our traditional practices to get what we have. Recognition of our elders and all of the people and the teachings that they have, and our collective knowledge that we share, I think has really played an essential role in the development of this. But this analogy, people are saying, well, how is it? What's it like? What's it like doing this stuff? And I kind of say, well, if you were to take off on a canoe trip right here, and you were going to go for a year, and you were going to try to make it up to Hudson Bay or something like that, or travel up to Sault Ste. Marie, and you had some stops, you had a purpose for your trip, you would be planning. You would be thinking about who's going to go on that trip. Do we have people who can tell the weather and know what's going to happen? What kind of food are we going to bring, and have we prepared our food correctly? So you go through all these steps in preparation like you do with many other activities. Because there was no map, and because we didn't really know what we were doing, since we began, it's kind of like we just hopped in our canoe and we took off. And if you've ever been river canoeing or river rafting, you know that when rapids come, you don't just blast through the rapids. You stop, you get out, you scout the rapids so you can see which way you're going to go, if it's even safe to go through the rapids. But the way we've been operating is we kind of jumped in and we took off, and we're not even scouting the rapids, and we're just shooting the rapids, and we didn't know what was happening. Over the last 10 years already we've been doing this. But something that really struck me was one of the pioneers in the Hawaiian movement. I explained that to her, and she said, that's really funny. I said, so what are you going to do now that you've got 10 years of experience in shooting rapids? Now what are you going to raise your bar to now? So you've experienced shooting rapids, you're successful at it, so you can be spontaneous and come up with these things really fast and be able to survive. Then what are you going to do? What's your next step? So kind of an inspiration about, well, you don't always need everything you think you need, if you don't even know what you need when you start, but you pick it up along the way. And I think as Anishinaabe people too, we learn a lot just by doing and by going through these activities and these processes. So what you see here isn't a finished, final, shiny, great product or anything at all, but it's merely a bunch of ideas we've put down, and hopefully something as a foundation or building block, a stepping stone, to get us a little bit more informed as we keep shooting these rapids. So I just kind of wanted to set the stage for how this fits into the future vision of what we're doing. But miigwech.